Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Growth Mindset Company, a go-to place for insightful discussions on contract expertise and fostering a growth mindset in the world of construction and project management. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999, exploring Clause 14.7 in meticulous detail. Now, why is this important? Well, understanding the nuances of this clause can be a game changer in navigating the complexities of construction contracts. But before we embark on this journey, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on all things related to contract expertise and fostering a growth mindset in our industry. Now, let's jump right into it. The employer has specific obligations regarding payment to the contractor outlined in Clause 14.7 of the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999, which are: first is advance payment installment. The employer is required to make the first installment of the advance payment. This should occur within 42 days after issuing the letter of acceptance, or within 21 days after receiving the documents, as per subclause 4.2 performance security and subclause 14.2 advance payment, depending on which event is later. Second is interim payment certification. The employer must pay the amount certified in each interim payment certificate. This payment should be made within 56 days after the engineer receives the statement and supporting documents. Last one is final payment certification. Similar to interim payment, the amount certified in the final payment certificate must be paid within 56 days after the employer receives this payment certificate. Now let's look at the purpose from a contractor's perspective. Clause 14.7 serves as a crucial mechanism to ensure timely and fair compensation for the contractor's work. It emphasizes prompt payment for the advance, interim, and final phases of the project, providing financial stability and incentivizing efficient project completion. The clarity in payment timelines ensures the contractor's cash flow remains steady throughout the project. And the purpose from an employer's perspective is that the employer benefits from Clause 14.7 by having a structured payment framework. This allows control over the payment process, ensuring that payments are made based on certified milestones. It provides financial predictability and allows the employer to manage project costs effectively, aligning with the overall project schedule.
Now let's look at the implications of this clause. Failure to comply with subclause 14.7 can have legal consequences. If the contractor does not receive payments as specified, they may be entitled to remedies or could potentially suspend work. Conversely, if the employer faces delays in payment, they may incur liabilities or face claims for damages. Also, timely payments under Clause 14.7 are vital for both parties to maintain a healthy financial position. Delays can lead to increased project costs, strained relationships, and potential disputes. It underscores the financial health of the project and the stakeholders involved. Now let's discuss the primary aspects of Clause 14.7, advance payment. The clause outlines the timeline for the initial advance payment, providing the contractor with necessary funds at the project's outset for mobilization and early-stage expenses. Interim payment. The certification and payment process for interim payment certificates ensures that the contractor is compensated at specific project milestones, aligning with progress. Final payment. The final payment certificate represents the conclusion of financial transactions, encompassing the total payment due to the contractor upon project completion.
Now let's look at how this Clause 14.7 interacts with other clauses of the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999. Clause 14.7 harmonizes with Clause 4.2 performance security and Clause 14.2 advance payment, specifying that the first advance payment installment is due within 42 days after issuing the letter of acceptance, or 21 days after receiving documents, whichever is later. Clause 14.7 and Clause 14.8 also share a consequential relationship. If the employer fails to make timely payments as specified in Clause 14.7, it triggers the provisions of Clause 14.8, Addressing delayed payments. This interaction emphasizes the importance of adherence to payment timelines to avoid potential repercussions and disputes. Next is how Clause 14.7 interacts with Sub-Clause 16.1 Contractor's entitlement to suspend work. If the engineer forgets to give a certificate, or if the employer doesn't follow the money rules in Clause 2.4, or the payment rules in Clause 14.7, the contractor can stop working or slow down the work. But before doing that, the contractor has to tell the employer about it at least 21 days before. The contractor can start working again when they get the certificate, proof of payment, or the actual payment, as mentioned in the notice. Doing this won't stop the contractor from getting extra charges if the payment is delayed, Clause 14.8. And they can still end the contract if needed, Clause 16.2. Now, failure to timely payment can further cause more damage to employer if the payment is further delay. This when the sub-clause 16.2 termination by contractor comes into action. If the engineer takes more than 56 days to approve the payment after receiving all the necessary paperwork from the contractor, or if the contractor doesn't get the money they're owed within 42 days after the agreed-upon payment time, except for specific deductions, as per subclause 2.5 employer's claims, the contractor has the right to terminate the contract.
Now, let's look at the key considerations for using Clause 14.7 payment. 1. Timely payments. Make sure you stick to the deadlines for advance, interim, and final payments mentioned in subclause 14.7 payment. Paying on time is important because it helps keep the contractor financially stable and the project moving smoothly. 2. Interaction with other clauses. Know that Clause 14.7 is connected to Clause 14.8, delayed payment, Clause 16.1, contractor's entitlement to suspend work, and Clause 16.2, termination by contractor. If payments are late, it could lead to the contractor stopping work or even ending the contract. 3. Legal consequences. Understand that not following subclause 14.7 can have legal consequences. If payments aren't made as agreed, it might lead to disagreements, claims, or the contract being terminated. 4. Financial implications. Think about how delayed payments affect both the contractor and the employer financially. Delays can make the project more expensive, strain relationships, and mess up the project schedule. 5. Certification process. Get how the certification process works for advance, interim, and final payments. This process is vital for making sure payments are based on accurate and fair evaluations of the work done. Pay attention to certification timelines. They're crucial for the payment process. 6. Contractual balance. Keep a fair balance in payments, understanding that both the employer and contractor have responsibilities. Be transparent and communicate openly to quickly address any payment-related concerns. 7. Project progress and completion. Realize that Clause 14.7 is essential for keeping the project moving forward and finishing it successfully. Paying on time helps create a positive project environment and reach project milestones. 8. Expert guidance. If you're unsure, seek advice from experts and legal professionals. They can help you fully understand what Clause 14.7 means for your contract and what obligations it brings.
Now comes the best part, flow card. Simply by examining the flow card and reading the pertinent clauses mentioned within, you will be able to comprehend or confirm the procedure outlined in subclause 14.7 payments. Additionally, you can see how intricate interactions exist between various clauses. However, this flow card has been made simpler for your convenience. As we conclude our exploration of Clause 14.7, I hope you've gained valuable insights into the intricacies of this vital aspect of the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999. Remember, knowledge is power. especially in the dynamic world of construction contracts. If you found this video informative, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your colleagues who might benefit from this expertise. And of course, if you have any questions or if there's a specific clause you'd like us to delve into in future videos, drop a comment below. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of contracts and growth mindset here at the Growth Mindset Company. Until next time, we encourage you to embrace challenges, foster growth, and always keep that growth mindset thriving. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.